Ah, the joys of holiday travel. I came down this week with a bunch of coworkers to our house, which is awesome. But I'm flying back. It is flying to the house tomorrow with our family, and I'm flying back again on Saturday. Kind of nutty, but that's what we do.
Hey, this is Ada.
And this is Stefan.
And welcome to Living Simply in Mexico, Family Edition. We are definitely, this video is for us, this is for our family, and we're just happy that you guys can kind of get a little peek into our lives and you can share the experience.
And on this trip, there was a lot of flying going on, just primarily to optimize schedules and costs, because during the holidays it was really expensive. So we actually did more flying to pay less for airfare. So that's what you saw here at the beginning and through some of this episode.
And by the way, if you hear banging, random banging in the background, it's because it's New Year's, it's the holidays, and fireworks. Fireworks happen at all hours, so there are just a few more bangs and booms than usual.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Happy New Year. It just turned 2022. Hopefully this will be a good year.
All right. This is going to go on someone's
I set it in my lap.
I feel like you guys are going on a road trip instead of a flight.
So there's the situation right now. It's going to be fun.
Bye. See you in less than 5 days. Wear your mask. Put his mask on.
See you later, Steph.
All right, see ya. Good luck.
All right, we made it to the other side at our gate. And big shout out to Cassandra from Southwest Airlines, the Sky Cap at Oakland Airport. You were freaking amazing and patient with us, so wanted to make sure I gave you a little thank you. Yeah, interesting going through security because we had pacemakers, we had blood. My father-in-law cut himself. We had to check 3 bags and the 2 walkers. So we're going to cross our fingers that all of those make it to PV. With that, here's the start of our vacation. Well, these tables are a little tough. All right, let's just introduce you guys to the first cast of characters. So the first leg was myself, and I was responsible for the parents. So,
yes, Ada had to deal with my dad. He was the one that needed some mask adjustment.
My father-in-law, who has a pacemaker and all sorts of other things. And my mom and my stepdad, who both have mobility issues in their own ways, and so they were actually bringing down, we had 2 walkers to bring down, and yeah, it was, that was definitely, I got a lot of sympathy from other passengers who actually asked if they could hire me once they retired to take care of them.
And this was a little bit of a tough one for me, because this was my first year. My mom passed away earlier in there, if you saw that video. And so my dad came along, and part of this was to, go down to Puerto Vallarta with him to have a change of scenery.
All right, so far so good. We're getting there.
One thing that's really interesting about our family, they have no problem being in front of the camera. They don't give a crap. But the first reaction on all the videos you'll see here is they always wave. The entire family waves, and so I thought that was kind of cute, actually.
Yeah, and yeah, they're cute. Thanks to Jorge at the airport, wheeled us through, got our taxi with Automobile, which they were really good to me. I lost my ticket last time and they actually took care of me. So I'm gonna give them a little thumbs up too. We just got the people up here, the Padres. You made it up the hill, or at least the first floor. So first impressions.
Bigger than San Francisco.
Mom, what's your first impression?
It's beautiful. I like everything I see.
Yeah, well, if you got the mama sign of approval, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had lots of luggage, but what do I pack besides my computer and such? I don't know. I'm kind of glad we didn't end up hitting the buzzer, because I think people would wonder, what am I up to with these? And I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, it's a vibrating trigger point massager. And then seeing some leopard skin, they'd be like, what is going on in this suitcase? So anyways, just a peek. And there she goes. She is cleaning the tequila. It took her no more than 3 hours to start cleaning. And the first thing she cleaned was the alcohol shelf. Like I said, first thing Mom's gonna do, I said, well, it's not gonna take her very long. She's gonna start cleaning. Annika's like, no, I don't think so. I said, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Meanwhile, those who said they weren't going to drink wasted no time getting started.
I'll probably pay for it.
I don't see his
Meanwhile,
chest going up and down.
no, he's breathing. I see it. Mom's over here cleaning. So second day we were here, the parents had a chance to kind of just get settled into just the big house, and they wanted to go see the other house, or at least my mom and my father-in-law. I knew my stepdad was not going to be able to get up the steps. So we had some stuff at the other house, and they're like, oh, we'll just bring it back down. And I'm like, no, we'll take a taxi and bring it back down. And they didn't really realize what they were getting into until we got there.
Yeah, and my dad, you know, I think he thinks he's always going to be 60 years old. He's well above that now, but he definitely wants to walk as far as he possibly can. Of course, he pays the price at the end of the day.
He does pretty well. He does well for an 81-year-old, but he is an 81-year-old, so we'll give him that.
Man, he's going up the steps like crazy though, so gotta give him credit.
So this didn't have a roof.
Here.
No, this.
Oh.
This is the roof.
Oh.
This wasn't here. That wasn't here. That wasn't here. Eight people hand carried that from down there up the side of our house by hand to go there.
One thing that's really cool about this video and bringing our family down is this is their first time to see our houses firsthand for the first time. And for us, it was really interesting because it summarized the last 3 years of being down here, working on our houses and putting things together. And you know, it's really about the journey down here and getting a house. And that's why we love the fact that we got a house versus a condominium for our purposes.
Well, and I was going to say, you know, the other thing is that while they might watch our videos on YouTube, there is nothing like actually experiencing it firsthand live. And I think they really just had a completely different sort of context and just understanding of really kind of the whole picture.
Absolutely. And the cool part is we had all of our bedrooms filled on this trip at one point or another.
Yeah. So Francis.
Yes.
After seeing both houses, which is your preference?
Well, I hate to say this, but I like this one.
Well, you don't have to hate to say
the 57 or 60 steps are a challenge, but that's okay. And everything is white. I love white.
All right, Mom. After experiencing both, I already know the answer to this. You can tell what the answer to this is. Which one would you rather be in?
The other one.
The other one. Why? What's your preference?
Because they're gorgeous. I can see the mountains and I can see the green, the trees and everything. Oh yeah, 100%. I like that one too, but I'm more peaceful in the other one, more challenge, more gorgeous. That one too, but me.
This is the difference between a mountain, woods mama, and a waterman.
Waterman, you're right.
He's sitting there staring at the sailboat, talking about the boat, talking about the boat, talking about the boat. My mom, look, there's a sailboat, or there was a sunset, and my mom was like, yeah, okay, that's it. Ready to go, let's go.
Let's go.
No, you gotta stay there. You gotta stay longer.
Oh man, your mom cracks me up.
You can see from our street, see that right there, see that white thing? That's an ice rink.
Yeah, one thing about my dad is he's very, very active, but you know, being an octogenarian, he's getting a little bit more stiff. He's probably a little bit more stiff than usual in this video, so I don't give him that much bad
You should have
cred.
seen him getting on and off the horse.
Okay.
That in and of itself, if I could have filmed that, I was just making sure he didn't crack his head open getting off the horse. Don't fall off the horse, Francis. What do you think?
I don't like horses. Never did, live or otherwise.
Well, you're riding it pretty well.
But he's a good trooper. He's like, what'd you say, a 10-year-old?
He's a 10-year-old trapped in an 81-year-old body. Yeah. Then at about maybe the third or fourth day we were here, my family was settled in, and then my extended family, or some of my extended family, I have a lot of extended family in Mexico, actually came. And this was my aunt, my uncle, and cousins that on our very first trip to Puerto Vallarta, they were with us.
Yes.
So it was really kind of fun to see them full circle. And this was also the first time in about 20 years my mom had seen these cousins and my aunt and uncle in person. And also it was probably the first Christmas they had spent together since at least she was 20, 21 years old. So that was really, really special. Okay. Definitely people who know what they're doing in the kitchen at the house, because you'll never see this much food with me. All right, so we got a new molcajete. Yeah, so we're gonna make sure it doesn't end up giving me more minerals than I need. So we're gonna use a little rice. I'm gonna grind it up in there, rinse it out. Do that a few times. I put my cousin to work. Mi prima está trabajando ahorita. We went for the churro run for the family, so we're about to order about 30 churros here. All right, let's just say those churros were a hit. Now, I didn't realize how much of a hit until like the next day my mom asked, does she want to go see the church? I'm thinking she wants to go see the Lady of Guadalupe, the big church in town. So we walk all the way down. We take pictures of the arches and the church, and there's a wedding happening. They all clear out. We go look at it, and we come out. My mom's like, "Where's the churros?" And I'm like, "I thought you wanted to see the church." "No, the churros." So anyways, back to this one we had to go.
Meanwhile, I finally show up with our daughter, and you were actually relieved to see me, I believe. No?
Yes.
I think maybe to deal with
I needed relief
from my father.
No, it's you know what, it's fantastic. Anybody who knows when you've got family in town and in your house, it's wonderful and it's exhausting all at once. And yeah, I just needed somebody to pass the baton over, for a while, and so I could actually just have a little bit of space.
Yeah. So the next morning we had some juice.
All right, this right here.
Oh, yeah.
This right here is a reason for living in Puerto Vallarta right here. Freshly squeezed orange juice in the morning. It's fantastic. And she sometimes has grapefruit juice, not this morning, but just put a little of that in your sparkling water. So since we had once all the family got there, then we really, like I said, we got to use both houses. We're lucky, it's about an 8-minute walk back and forth between the houses. It's just so amazing to just walk through Puerto Vallarta, and it was like every morning was just a special time. So there was like a couple of pairs of underwear on the stairs, which wasn't so, I was like, oh, maybe somebody dropped their laundry, but seeing kind of a pattern of chonchos, orphan chonchos sitting here, little breadcrumbs, or else a pissed off girlfriend. I don't know.
I'm thinking one-man girlfriend.
Or it might be a bachelor party. I don't know. We're behind Casa Kimberly, so maybe it's a scavenger hunt. Huh. Anyways, those are the fun things we discover on our morning walks. So one thing that's really interesting is sort of watching the difference between how the men in our family interacted and sort of with the space and with each other, and how the women. So first of all, yeah, after our walks, when I would arrive, like literally there would be 5 people mopping, mopping the floors, sweeping, like every morning. And so like those were, you know, the women were doing that, my cousins. Cooking, full on, like not just like cereal. This is like full on like eggs and meat and all of the things. On the guy's side, so we had, of course, we've already met, you know, your dad, my stepdad, Jerry, and we had my uncle Mauricio. Now Mauricio's got, he has Parkinson's, and so, you know, so that was our third mobility sort of issue that we had, you know, but that being said, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Now my stepdad Jerry was an electrician by trade, and so he's one of those guys that can fix like anything if he can get into it. And so the coffee maker sort of presented a bit of a challenge. All right, Jerry is going to get to the bottom of this coffee maker scenario. So the coffee maker crapped out on day 2. We are not coffee drinkers, but my parents are. They're desperate. We did buy a new coffee maker, and we had our wonderful neighbor, Sally Ann, who lent us hers, a spare one, but we're gonna just figure out what's going on here. I don't quite know what's going on here. We're witnessing what it's like for a dog to try to get into their Kong right here. Oh, success. Dopamine about to come. Meanwhile, Francis wants to get on the action too. He's all excited that he's got a tool in his hand. He wants to do something too. He doesn't want to get left out. So he's going to use his vice grip to remove the tool from the tool set.
You know the really high-end tools mechanics used to buy?
And I predict those are going to all end up on the floor. We had one of my cousins, Norma, had to leave, and my other cousin, who lives in Guadalajara, and my other cousin, Joanna, who also lives in Guadalajara, she's a nurse, she came, and then we had my other cousin, Adriana, her sister, also has a speech, she has a speech disability, but it was just fun, once again, just having them here to share the experience.
Yes, along with our daughter too, who showed up with me, and we keep her usually out of videos, but for this one, you'll see her in there a little bit more. Yeah, it's the family episode. We cannot have her.
All right, in the pool. It is a warm day finally. Got a few of them in there.
A warm day in a cold pool.
Yes, it's a little bit chillier. Can't get the Padres to come in though. Yet. But yet.
Hola. Hola, hola.
And actually my aunt stayed all the way until like almost a full 2 weeks, along with my parents. So that was really fantastic. And I think one of the things I really enjoyed was just walking every morning. We're like 6-7 minutes away from the market down in the Emiliano Zapata area. And little outdoor market, we'd go there, they would get all the fresh, vegetables, and, we get tortillas and tortilla flour and all that sort of stuff. And so I think it just gave them really, they had no desire necessarily to go out and about and see the sights of Puerto Vallarta. For them, I think just walking through town, going there together, experiencing the suspension bridges, and just the general energy was enough for them. So it was just interesting. We were kind of in our little capsule here, but at the same time, they had the opportunity to kind of go out and just live. Heading to the market. Mom and aunt behind. The green and blue. They can do it. Oh, they made it. Well, this is an interesting little find. This is where the old suspension bridge used to be, but apparently there is a way to get down here across the river, which doesn't exist right now because they've diverted it because of the bridge construction, so we can get across the river.
I don't know if you saw our episode on Hurricane Nora, but the actual hurricane didn't do much damage. It was the flooding after the hurricane. And there was a lot of devastation along the Rio Quale here. And so now they're rebuilding. It took out a very, very large bridge and a couple of buildings. To do the construction, they closed down. The river used to go have an island in it, and they closed down one side of the island so they could drive on it and build the new bridge that they're putting together. And so that's why you could walk across it on some of these ped bridges that were washed out. Actually, traffic is not that bad even with the bridge out. They found that pretty well.
I'm pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
on the traffic. All right, we made it.
Oh, we did.
Here we are, beachfront, Christmas Eve, with the familia.
Yeah, familia.
Familia, see. All right. We will not starve as usual here at Cuatro Cincuentes.
No, definitely not.
It is a...
Yum yum.
Gracias.
Sí, salsas para los pasteles.
All right.
Oh, muy bien.
Buen provecho.
All right, muy bien. All right, so here we are. We're sitting outside of Hotel Salon. My mom decided she wanted a haircut, you know, because it's Christmas Eve, and why not have a Christmas Eve? Here's my tia. So meanwhile, this is my prima, Adriana, and of course, little Ada. Yeah, so she's in there right now. Let's see if we see her. Yeah, she's down there. She's getting her hair washed way back there. That's her back there. Anyways, yeah, we'll see how she comes out. I mean, it was already short. I have a pretty traumatic hair experiences. Being that I'm a 6 foot tall woman that has very thick hair, when my hair was short, I would get mistaken for a guy all the time. So yeah, it will never be short again. And yes, my mom getting a haircut as we speak. Christmas Eve. We'll see how they do. All right, one small sort of source of contention sometimes with my mom and I is, you know, this is the difference between when you have grown up with nothing and everything was scarce, and growing up, you know, not in that scarcity environment. And so my mom will, I mean, granted, I love thrift stores as well and a good garage sale. But my mom really loves them, and she buys things to take down to Mexico, which of course it's taken 20 years to get her back down here. And so we, over the course of several of our trips, because I wanted to make sure they were not checking, like I didn't want to be checking bags and bags and bags of luggage. So we sort of slowly started bringing down these clothes that my mom has been accumulating over the course of who knows how long.
Decades.
And I mean, I can't even tell you how many shoes. We had this entire huge bag of shoes. And, you know, I'm like, Mom, we can, you know, give them money, give them cash. It's lighter. And, you know, no, I think it's almost sort of related to Christmas. It's like getting something tangible that you can use right there. That's what it's about. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there going, gosh, how are just my family members to get their clothes back? And what I didn't realize is that my mom actually also, on these little shopping trips, she would always have a little extra bag, and I wasn't paying attention. And then I saw why she had the bag. My mom's walking along, finding people to give clothes to.
Ya tomó la foto para el Facebook, mira.
Oiga, señora, ¿le quedan apretados? Un poquito. Ah, no, entonces démelo así después.
One thing that's really interesting is that we had this, you know, we've got this house that is a lot of square footage, and none of us are used to living in a place that has this much square footage. And all of the gatherings were pretty much on our terrace, and my mom and aunt preferred to cook up at the upstairs kitchen because even though it was a small stove, tiny counter space, she could look out at the mountains, and not to mention, because of everybody's mobility issues, that was the one floor that everybody could really be on, and it was just really easy for them. And it's Christmas, almost, Christmas Eve, and we are having hamburgers. Got Mama in the kitchen. Mama and Tia. Jerry's supervising. El paraguas. Umbrella.
La paraguas. No.
Are we going for blackout?
All of it.
All of them. Okay.
Blackout. Hola.
La sandía.
Sandía. Oh, melon. No, sí.
You're outside looking. You're outside looking in.
La chalupa.
Well, see.
It's like the little canoe.
The difference between our house on the river and then our house that's overlooking Centro, it's a very different vibe. Here it's more quiet in this house. Our first house, that's where all the activity happens. People get together, the kids play in the streets. You've got the downtown noise from the Melcon that you hear periodically. But it's really alive at night, and it's for Christmas as well as New Year's. It was, you know, every year it's the same.
Christmas Eve pirates are here. All right, got the tamale factory happening over here with Panchi and my mom. Although they're doing the best they can with the resources they've got. We're missing big pans. We're missing a little bit. We would have liked to have had a little bit more flour, a little more masa, but oh well, we're making do. I'm sure they're gonna be delicioso. So, anyways, Merry Christmas. All right, sorry, I started to tear into it. I was like, oh yes, our tamales, our little spread. This is champurrado, which is kind of like Mexican chocolate with all sorts of, I don't know, Mexican goodies. And got Audrey here, Sally Ann's coming over. Yes, we are picking out and we are enjoying it. There's Sally Ann, yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, Panchi, ¿qué es ¿qué es la canción?
Dale, 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 no pierdas el tiempo.
That's a tough one.
Look, you ain't wasting your time. All right, let's just talk the piñata for a moment. You know what? It was so amazing watching the kid come out of my my Mexican relatives. So like I said, here's my uncle that's got Parkinson's, shuffles along. The moment that candy came out, he was the first one down there scrambling. Of course, like I said, my cousin that has a speech impediment, a little bit of developmental disability, she was the one who was hitting the piñata. And they were just having such a fantastic time, and it was just so great to do something that really brought that much joy.
Candy was really good too, by the way.
It was good candy.
Yeah. So how was your trip, Jerry?
Trip where?
Trip here. Or are you staying here?
I think he might be on a trip.
My trip has been fantastic.
Cool.
Didn't know you'd be ending it with a Cuban cigar with a sunset, huh? And a glass of brandy.
And thank you guys for the hospitality and the beautiful view, Villa Vista.
Yeah, it's nice tonight.
So I had the challenge of bringing, you know, my parents and my father-in-law on the first little round. Now, as they were leaving, we actually had our 15-year-old daughter. Basically, was the adults in the room. Not really the adult in the room, but she basically is the one taking care of my parents.
Yes.
As they left.
Okay, you guys ready to go?
Ready to go, say hi.
All right, and off they go. That leaves me with this guy. Stuck with us for the duration.
Well, off they went. It's a little scary, sort of seeing them out there. They're going to have to deal with the shuttle and climbing up the jetway. So, anyways, that'll be challenging, but we'll hope they get to the other side without any hitches. So, all right, a little sad to see them go. And I was a little bit of a nervous mama. Let's just say I did not get to sleep until I saw that they had gotten home safely. But I'm really proud of all of them for traveling, for making the effort to get down here, because it's not an easy thing. We were lucky to have our friends watching dog sitting for us.
We had dogs and birds in our house.
Thank you, Zach and Nellie, for that. And yeah, it's just, you know, there was so many different little factors, or bigger factors. So I was really, it's kind of a small miracle that we all made it here in the midst of a pandemic. And I mean, you can see, we outfitted them with the N95s and, you know, wanted to make sure that everybody got home safely.
So my dad was babysitting today. A little yet to be named doggy who was a rescue, who was also pregnant with 5 puppies inside.
Your little chitty chitty bang bang, huh? Chitty chitty bang bang, right here. Right here. You got those little titties. You're so pretty. Yes.
All right, so my dad is a boater at heart. He still lives on a boat, actually, crazily enough. And so what we did is we went to the Vallarta Yacht Club, and we took one of their boats out. And so we had just a wonderful time with one of our friends here. We went out. We saw a mom and a little baby whale that were jumping up and down. I didn't get too close because you didn't want to be one of those types of people to get too close. But then we took the Yacht Club boat over to Los Arcos, which was great.
Okay, here's Los Arcos, good guy. You bring your neck. This is actually good snorkeling. Bring our snorkeling gear next time.
And then we slowly came back and had a good afternoon lunch. And so that was a really, really good time with my dad. I think he really got a lot out of that.
So once everybody left, it got really quiet really quick. So it was time to now entertain entertain your dad a little bit more. So
although he doesn't need much entertaining.
No, well, no. So I came down the hill. I was bringing my father-in-law with me to go run some errands, and so over at the cultural center they're having some sort of little I think there was some circus family or something, and we actually saw them because they were blocking traffic in our neighborhood a little while ago because they had this huge motor van. Anyways, apparently my father-in-law is over there watching them and is totally entertained. Let's go see. Once Francis had the 10-year-old version of entertainment, we gave him something a little bit more adult.
Well, you know what's really fascinating about living here in Puerto Vallarta, especially on El Cerro Hill, is there are some amazingly notable, talented people that have houses here, that have lived here for a long time. And one of them they're born in Las Vegas but grew up here, was Steve Retchless, and you may have seen him on, was America's Got Talent?
America's Got Talent.
He was like he came in like he was a finalist.
He was a finalist.
It was kind of weird. We didn't do the video of his marquee sort of. He's a male pole dancer, but we did get a couple little pieces for you to take a look at.
Change it.
Here we are.
Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place.
A pole of the platinum kind. Santa baby, hurry up and tell me tonight.
All right, so we just got done watching Rise, Steve Retchless.
Retchless, yes.
And wow.
Multi-talented guy.
Really, really, really talented
Amazing
guy. Really fantastic. He's our neighbor, and wow on being just a talented performer. So anyways, we're at Act 2, and we were, you know, watch performance, all masked up, and had a really great time. So
Yes.
anyways, hope you guys, when you come to PV, check it out.
And then we come to New Year's Eve. We had actually a really quiet New Year's Eve. There was rumors that the fireworks and things were going to be canceled. There's a lot of people down the Malecon. We just really didn't want to get into that, so we just hung up at our house with the water view in hopes that there was some fireworks. And again, on the way, it was really great because the kids were down there doing what they do on the street as usual.
No toboggan needed,
No.
and no snow needed. They found their own way.
Happy New Year from Puerto Vallarta.
Typically on New Year's Eve, we're not down on the Malecon anyways.
No.
There is so much energy in the streets that and just around that's really all you need. It was just a party happening everywhere. You did not have to be in the middle of it, and even though it was mellow for us on our roof, I felt like we were part of the action.
From previous years, we know that there's a couple blocks down that they go until dawn, it seems.
No, they do.
Guaranteed, they're going to go till about 4 or 5 in the morning. Guaranteed.
Yes. Oh, easily. I think maybe 5 or 6.
Yes.
That's what it was before.
Yes.
And that is living in El Centro.
Yes.
That was our family holiday here in Mexico. And like I said, small miracle that it happened. Special thanks to Nellie and Zach for watching the bird and dogs, for my parents and for us. Sally Ann, our neighbor, for basically just being there for transportation and moral support when we needed it. Our friend Audra, who has been helping to sort of house sit as well. So she was there, and just for buying the piñata.
Yes.
That was great. And then just, my family that lives in Mexico, the fact that they came here, they took time to make the haul over the hill, and it was just such a fantastic experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And also too, thank you all for we're not trying to make this a big thing, but a few people, every other day or so will come up and say hi and say, hey, we watched the videos.
We love that.
We actually love that. We're not being swamped by people because we've got a small following, and so we kind of actually enjoy really engaging folks, and especially even New Year's Eve, someone said hi from La Capella, so hi back again.
Yeah, and if sometimes I kind of give you that look like, do I know you? It's because I'm trying to figure out, do I know you? So, so sorry if I might have that look of like, oh gosh, should I know who this is? But anyways, yeah, thanks you guys for everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little peek into our family lives. I know every family has its quirks. Ours is included. Absolutely. And it was just fun to share it with you.
Yeah, and happy New Year. Hopefully everybody will have a good 2022. Somehow we'll get back to normalcy out of this crazy pandemic stuff, and hope to see you all down here sometime soon in Puerto Vallarta.
So like, subscribe, comment.
Yes.
We'll see you later.
Take care, everybody.
Happy New Year!